Hello and welcome. My name is Wojtek Suwinski. I'm currently the CEO of MEDtube, the social e-learning platform for health professionals. And during this short session, I will talk a little bit about new ways to enter foreign markets in this digital world using digital tools. I will talk about MEDtube a little bit at the end of the presentations, not to bore you too much. Just briefly about me, so you know who you are listening to. I've been working in consulting for many years. I helped various companies to develop their market entry strategies and entering especially foreign markets. And for a while now, I'm in telemedicine, and because I believe in it, I think I will stay here, hopefully for a while as well. Cutting to chase, going into the main message of this presentation about the international expansion and whether you should go traditional or digital. The subject came from my experience and from many companies struggling as I see with the decision whether they should go into traditional expansion or digital one. In my opinion, spoiler alert, you should use both. It's never a choice of either one or the second one. You should always utilize both of them, and it's the matter of a healthy balance between them. So if you really don't like some of my ideas and some of my tips, then don't use them. Feel free to throw them in the trash and use something else. But the whole point of my presentation is to show you that the digital brings a lot of advantages, and if you treat them right, those channels will bring you a lot of profit. And first, I will try to establish some main pain points, I believe, that comes with the traditional offline expansion. By offline expansion, I mean, of course, some trade fairs, tons of business cards exchanged, direct sales meetings, and offline publication, and so on and so forth. And the three main issues with those are, first of all, limited audience, second of all, high costs, and last but not least, general inefficiency. And deep diving into them a little bit. By limited audience, I mean mainly, of course, geographically. So no matter which one of the offline tools you will use, which one of those channels you will use, you always reach only a limited geographical region. And if you want to reach 10 times more customers, 10 times bigger area, you probably should hire 10 times more salespeople. So the reach depends purely on your sales force, on your actual human sales force. And it's also, it tends to reach people with similar characteristics. So if you go attend trade fairs a lot, the customers that are attending trade fairs, they are usually, very specific types of people. So if you are not going into B2B business, then trade fairs attract innovators, and hopefully they are your customers, but they are not the main group that you want to reach. The high costs, I think it goes without saying. It requires, the offline traditional expansion requires a lot of time, a lot of people involved, and therefore it requires a lot of money investment in it. And the general inefficiency, that's probably the main issue with all of it. And it means that first of all, there's lack of proper targeting. So in a lot of those channels, in a lot of those ways to reach your customers, you have no idea who you are actually reaching. So if you are on trade fairs and there are 10,000 of attendees, so maybe 10% of those are your potential customers. But how to reach them, how to actually talk to them, how to reach all of them, there's no way to know. Second of all, it drives out of empty numbers. So again, with those trade fairs, if you have 10,000 attendees, it doesn't mean that 10,000 people saw you there. If the magazine publication have 10,000 readers, it doesn't mean that 10,000 people saw your advert or read your article, and so on and so forth. You have no idea to know. how many of those actually got your message. The third problem is that it requires a high engagement from your customers. So if you approach someone at trade fairs, even if you explain a lot of your message and what you are offering, it still requires a lot of involvement and a lot of time spent by your customer to find out more about you, to remember who you are, to find the information about your company, about what you are selling. And it's really hard. If you are requiring this from your customers, then it's putting a lot of pressure, of sales pressure on them and not on your people. And it's all the problem of scalability of those actions. This all creates problems in building international trust for your company and for your brand. And digital expansion obviously addresses a lot of those issues. And of course, if we are starting with limited audience, of course, in digital world, your audience is unlimited. So not even leaving your desk, you can reach people from all over the world. You can reach people with various characteristics. And it's centrally driven. So in theory, you can do this all by yourself, of course, but you don't have time for other actions. But in real life, you have a central people who are responsible for this, and you have a supervision of them centrally, and they support your whole sales force in the field, and they create everything centrally, and then you can reach everyone. I probably can't say that it's lower. The costs are lower. Certainly, the time costs are lower because you don't have to travel, you don't have to organize all the offline stuff that you need to organize for traditional expansion. It requires less people involved because usually the central teams are smaller than the sales force, and therefore it may cost you less money. It doesn't have to. It depends, of course, on what marketing channels you use in digital and how well you do it. But it's certainly more differentiated. It can be also more long-lasting value. It's also less one-time costs like trade fairs, but more divided into, let's say, 12 months of your existence online. And digital expansion is all about efficiency. So you can target people by as many factors as you want. Depending on how you do it and where you do it, you can target them by many things, and I will tell about it a little bit later. But yes, you can you can tell your message to the people that really want to hear it and that are should be the recipients of your communication. It doesn't drive empty numbers. You, by the end of your campaign in digital world, you know how many people saw it, how many people clicked, how many people converted, how much money did it cost, and how much money did you pay for one customer, and for one view, and for one click, and so on and so forth. If it's done right, it doesn't require high engagement, and what's more, it also brings something that I call a passive reach. So if you are creating, for example, a piece of content, if you are using content marketing, then in digital world, proper content marketing brings you value for a long time. So if you record a webinar, then people can watch it for a long time, for even years to come, and it still brings value to our company. It's very hard to do this in the offline world. And thanks to the scalability of those actions, it helps you building global trust, international trust. So yeah, use it. The question is how to do it. And of course, I can't give you specific advices. I have no idea who's actually watching this right now. And even if I knew, I would have to spend a lot of time in your companies to give you specific actions you may do. But I will try to give you main directions you should go into, at least from my experience, of course. So first of all, use multi-channel approach. It's always better when your customer sees you in 10 different places and hears about you from 10 different things than when he heard about you 10 times from the same source, especially when the source is your sales people. So yeah, use those. You can try to approach customers through multiple platforms. If you are trying to reach someone that is actively looking to solve their problem, of course, use Google tools and Google platform. If you are looking for more professionally focused customers, then use LinkedIn. If their goal is to reach more generic audience, then Facebook is a proper a platform for this. But there are many platforms who are specific for some customers. So if you are, for example, trying to reach more educational focused customers and or more health professionals than any other, then you can use platform like MEDtube, of course. But yeah, look, you probably know the platforms in your area, in your business area, so you know how to do it. And second thing is use various tools. So don't try to push your banner 10 times everywhere and hope that someone will click once. Try to show your message in various ways. So a banner is great, but an emailing campaign as well. Try to create some video content or an online meeting or many others. It's not only it creates a higher brand awareness, but it also gives you the trust for what you are providing, and the interest. Possibly, it creates a higher chance that someone will be interested in what you are offering. Second main thing, make it content based. That depends a lot on the product you are selling, but I believe in content marketing. I believe that it brings a lot of value. It's sometimes tougher to measure, but it's engaging, and that's priceless. No one wants to read an advert. No one wants to read something that you are pushing them to read. People want to find their content on their own, and if they find something where they can find out about you, that's wonderful and that's priceless, and try to use it as much as you can. It's also it provides them a chance for a convenient access. So especially compared to traditional expansion, it's really hard to gather your customers, the place where you want to gather them, when you want to gather them. For example, for an offline meeting. The online world doesn't have those problems. You can record a webinar, you can create a session like I'm recording right now, and show them to your customers whenever they want it. If it's when they are sitting on the couch or drinking their morning coffee, it doesn't matter to you as long as they see it. And right now, especially after or during the Corona situation, it's also easier to create. So before this whole pandemic, it was a little bit tougher to create something remotely. But right now, when the people are already used to this digital, let's say, collaboration, you can easily from your desk organize a key opinion leader from the United States, a marketing agency from India, a technical agency from Japan, and they will all work together and they will all create a marvelous content, which was impossible to do offline. And third, and the last main point is that you have to use precise targeting. So you can share your message everywhere and to anywhere, but this is just a waste of money. It's important to know who is seeing your message and whether those people are your potential customers. And as mentioned before, depending on the platform, you can target them in many ways. Of course, geographically, by country or by region, by their interest, what they are looking into, what they like, by their profession, their education, whether they attended some events. That's really great. You can probably try to target people that actually attended this event, the Future Health event, and many others, just depending on your customers and who they are. It's all the matter of your creativity. And yeah, sky's the limit. These are some examples of what you can do. These are obviously MEDtube examples. So these are targeted at health professionals. So don't treat it as a closed book, rather as an inspiration. But you can see webinars, online meetings, discussion groups, online courses, and many, many others in here. So go hybrid. Try to find a healthy balance between traditional and digital. But in modern times, I think if you have 10% of your budget in digital and 90% in traditional, that's probably not a healthy ratio. I would go from at least 50-50, maybe even to 90% digital and 10% traditional. Have some trust in the digital tools. Bear in mind that right now, even the most traditional tools like books are sold online. So you need to have some very, very serious reasons to go not to invest in digital tools when you are expanding to new markets and you're trying to reach new customers. And just really, really briefly about MEDtube. MEDtube is the largest social e-learning platform for health professionals in the world. We have over 25,000 pieces of content and over 250,000 health professionals on our platform. And we provide various tools for medical education. We have e-learning tools, webinar tools, discussion groups, multimedia library, and mobile app, and so on. We are globally, of course. We are in 5 different language versions, so no boundaries for us. And yeah, many companies already trusted us because we are on the market for over 10 years right now. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much from your attention. Thank you very much for listening till the end. And if you have any questions about mobile international expansion, or about MEDtube, or you have any other questions, don't hesitate and just let me know. You can write me either on LinkedIn, it's fairly simple to find me, or via email. It's great to hear from you. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the Future Health Poland, for allowing me to share my thoughts on the international expansion, and have a great day and great event.